Welcome, viewers. This is yet another offering from International Council for Industrial Security, Safety and Management with the objective to professionalize the professionals. The masterclass today is on a new tool which security professionals world over are acquiring and finding it big value addition to their professional skills. And this is predictive profiling. The subject is catching up slowly, and the trend is that more and more people are getting aware and sensitive about their privacy, their rights, their liberties. They are very, very violently against obtrusive kind of security approach. They don't want to be touched, they don't want to be stopped, they don't want to be searched, and tempers are high. Security professionals' work is becoming challenging more and more every day. So the approach to make very profound observation and based it with their skill sets and security professionals give desirable results. And predictive profiling, if we say in a formal way, it is more of an art, and art also that too applied art. Security profiling is unobtrusive study of individual who is in your property with an aim to identify their real intent and risk to own organization. Aim at early identification of a potential threat and activation of risk mitigation measures, and profiling is an art. Quality is dependent on profiler's skill set. If we closely look at these six faces randomly picked up with their known professional background, then one thing comes very easy, and that is that one individual is making those vibrations which a receptor would find linking to criminal character. We have seen in most of the cases, we have seen that criminals world over are stereotyped. If someone is making cartoon of a thief sitting in Istanbul and comparing his cartoon with another cartoonist making cartoon of a thief in European country or that of Asian, then few features are very common, and those features are categorized as criminaloid characteristics. A criminal's cartoon would show him to have pug-nosed, stocky built, short neck, shifty, stony, small eyes, protruding ears and hairs on earlobes, and these features, whether cartoon is made in Asian country or African country or European country or Middle East, these common characteristics clearly indicate that even when there is no formal training given to cartoonists, they pick up the strong characteristics of different professionals, different backgrounds, and character values are on the face, are on body. A man with good character will have facial expression differently. A bald man is a bald man, but a criminal bald man will give signals differently than a man who is bald by chance but happens to be holding good values, moral values, and good character. So, predictive profiling focuses on picking up those telltale signs, picking up those signals which a criminaloid character will emanate, and receptors so painstakingly and so thorough, understanding professionals pick up, and they have that skill to be a receiver. There are signals coming from criminals, and security professionals pick up those signals successfully, and before anything goes wrong or out of control or crime takes place, they prevent it. And this tool is very proactive in nature, and like any other tool, this also value adds to a good professional. Here we have mentioned the professional background of these six people, and it is very easy to understand that one on first top row is the criminal. Those glassy eyes and those shifty, stares, and these are not random pickup. In fact, there has been a study by Cesare Lombroso, 1835 to 1909, and Lombroso is considered as father of predictive profiling skill. He found that certain categories of criminal had some of the following features that were similar to those of savages or apes. Murder. Murderer are characterized with the cold, glassy stares, bloodshot eyes, big hawk-like nose, and thieves are also having prominent characteristics: expressive face, small wandering eyes, manual dexterity. And female criminals have yet distinct features: shorter than average height, dark hair, small skull. And Lombroso did not use a non-criminal control group when examining the atavistic form. Outline one issue with this. Lombroso is also criticized as he did not differentiate between criminal behavior and the psychological disorders. Yes, outline what effects this would have had on his finding is anyone's guess, but then this skill is more of an art than a science. There are groups were they were characterized based on their geographical location, based on their sex, because of their social background or economical background. He did extensive research and study on different groups and their outlining characteristics. The born criminal kind of concept, which today is countered by another argument that criminals are victims of circumstances. But Lombroso has highlighted that criminals are born. They are born with their attitude, their aptitude, their characteristics, and their life value systems. And these are not changed. Many people who have all these characteristics and all these qualities do not turn into criminal, maybe for want of opportunity, maybe for having no sufficient reasons, or instigation of the situation. But he established that it is not that circumstances make criminals. People are born criminals, and those who have not been caught, those who have not been punished, is not a proof that they are not criminals. Many criminals are never caught throughout their life and maintain successfully a facade of being a gentleman. So Lombroso was endlessly curious about crime, criminals, and their motivation for offending, as well as their culture. And as part of the exercise, if we see the cartoon which I mentioned earlier, cartoon of a thief or a criminal will have stereotype features. If you are asked to make a cartoon, compare your drawing with others' drawing and then see what are the common features. And you will be surprised to know that almost everyone has got few features which are very common. And these features are something which compel you to realize that a criminal would have stocky build, pug nose, protruding ear, bulging eyes, twisted, flattened, or upturned nose, aquiline or beak like nose, super long arms, excessive jawline, more than the usual number of fingers and toes. That doesn't mean that very famous young actor of Indian cinema is a criminal. But then this combined with or coupled with other characteristics make our observation correct that someone might be a criminal. So when we see all these indicators, then we categorize that person as a criminaloid character, that character which has all the tendencies to become a criminal. He may not be criminal, but his tendencies, his characteristics reveal that he has that criminal bent of mind. In a stark different situation, when we see a criminal who looks more likely to be an offender, and we wonder why someone looks like an offender, someone who looks like a criminal. Compare with the two pictures of beautiful ladies. One beauty stimulates appreciation and reverence. Other beautiful lady's picture stimulates sexy and naughty thoughts. Both are beautiful in their own way, but their impression on other mind are totally different. So this indicates that broadly there are very prominent features, there are very prominent characteristics of every individual which very loudly cry out and draw the attention of trained predictive profiler. And such people are maybe part of the crowd, but they successfully pick up people, those who show such tendencies and such characteristics. In fact, in ancient Indian knowledge, we had three different approaches to fortune telling. And broadly, all these were put under one category that was called Jyotish Shastra. Jyotish Shastra, fortune telling, was art, only in one part. But two major parts of it were pure science. One was Phalik Jyotish, calculation of solar system, mainly three planets. So planetary movement and calculation about their uh, space at any specific given date and time, and based on calculation, fortune could be predicted, forecasts were made. Then other one was again a science, which was palmistry. Palmistry also was very careful study and very well defined science, because of which fortunes were foretold. But Samudrik Shastra was an art which was supplement to these Jyotish two major division, which are called Hastrekha Vigyan or Jyotish Shastra. So planetary calculations based prediction or your palm reading were supported by Samudrik Shastra. Samudrik Shastra was also a subject of practice which supported fortune telling very profoundly. And closest to it in modern world, criminology is the subject which is taught in universities and colleges, and it is part of law study. So criminology is study of understanding the criminal's characteristics, criminaloid characteristics. What are the indicators of criminals, how we look at someone to establish whether he has got criminaloid tendencies. Those features are studied, which give collectively a conclusion that someone might be a criminal. So a new paradigm in security management is taking place today, where the behavioral profiling paradigm makes a good deal of sense. It allows security officials to identify and focus resources on the people who are most likely to be a security risk with relatively little cost. Best thing is that when other tools and tackles and systems and gadgets are getting old and their maintenance cost is increasing and their value decreasing, this tool is one which is getting old and getting more accurate and adding more value. A security professional with the specialization in predictive profiling will keep on adding value to his employability. His knowledge will keep on increasing. And this, as a matter of doctrine, is the fundamental issue when we talk about predictive profiling, whether behavioral profiling programs are reasonable, whether they provide a rational basis for distinguishing between some persons and others, whether they provide reasonable suspicion for a security officer to conduct a follow-up search and seizure, and whether they treat people fairly, including by offering some redress for wrongly harmed person. Because this is art and it can never be accurate, so things might go wrong, and we have to think about when things go wrong, what are the redress system established for wrongly harmed person. And profiler's skill sets are essentially developing his attitude and aptitude. He must have sharp memory, must be a keen observant. A good listener would make a good profiler. Understanding of human psychology and knowledge of criminology is very essential. He must be a good communicator and skilled interviewer, because it is not only about silently watching someone sitting in corner unobtrusively and profiling people. There would be time when they would come closer to such zeroed person under target, and communicate with them, engage them in question answer. More and more question answers will reveal the real character of a person being interviewed. And communication skill are very essential because what you want to intend must also be communicated in similar way. Because if you are not phrasing your questions correctly, then answers will also be wrong or mixed up. Knowledge of the science of logic is very essential. Analytical mind and must work logically. Why, how, when, where are few questions which must keep on emanating from profiler's mind and must try to get the right answer for all these question marks. And his knowledge of victim, crime, and criminal is very, very essential. And he must be really thorough in such understanding of crime and criminals and the scenario. Knowledge of human sociology in relation to study and examination of victims, crime, and criminals are part of profiler's skill set. One need to understand that kind of crowd in reception area or the lobby of a hotel is going to be distinctly different than in the hospital. The crowd in the market and crowd in the shopping mall behaves differently. People in airport differently behave in railway stations. Same people, their behavior changes. People in Delhi, same group of people will behave differently when they are in Dublin. People in Tibet are same people who would differently behave in Taiwan. So it is on profiler's skill to understand that how and why, to what extent people will undergo a change in their behavior, in their walk, in the way they talk, the way they dress. So, knowledge of human psychology in relation to the study and examination of victims, crime, and criminals. Another skill which is required of a successful predictive profiler is knowledge of mental illness in relation to study and examination of victims, crime, and criminals. So I have used these three phrases, words together: victims, crime, and criminals, in relation to knowledge of human sociology, knowledge of human psychology, knowledge of mental illness. Someone who stammers maybe because of mental illness or maybe physical disability, and someone who stammers maybe because of anxiety and nervousness. And one needs to understand why someone is behaving that way. Either it is because of circumstances, because of stress, and because of nervousness or the guilt feeling of a person, or it is because of illness. Knowledge of drugs and alcohol in relation to study and examination of victims, crime, and criminal. So these are the skill sets in respect to victims, crime, and criminals, which essentially must be very profound in case of successful predictive profiler. Further, knowledge of human anatomy and physiology. No need to elaborate further. A professional, seasoned security professional knows why these are highlighted. Knowledge of human sexuality in all of its context and incarnations. The skill and ability to write completely and professionally. The skill and ability to make valid arguments based on social logic and reasoning. And ability to recognize biases and work towards maintaining objectivity. The ability to keep the confidence and maintain confident information. ability to remain honest and ethical despite the short term rewards for professional dishonesty and unethical practice. Of course, this goes for any professional and more so for security professional. So, skills for predictive profile can be summarized as number one, the one who can think with the predictive mindset. Number two, understand the basics of predictive techniques. Number three, know how to think critically about variables. Number four, understand how to interpret results and validate models. And number five, know what it means to validate a model. Here, a word of advice, keeping current is the key. You must keep your knowledge updated, your skills fine tuned, and keeping current is the key. Today, world is changing so fast. What was okay few years back is not okay now. What was okay few years back is taken differently. What was crime yesterday is no more a crime. In India, homosexuality is no more a crime. So there are things which are changing, and keeping current is the key. And new normal is that everything will go through the transition. Now it is little faster than yesterday, especially after COVID pandemic. Security professionals started learning new techniques and they started discharging their duties differently. During that time, for good 2 years, they were not supposed to not touch anyone. They were not in position to even see the faces. And those who were successful at that time were those who could see the walking style, see the talking style, see the dresses, and overall conduct of a person to deduce whether someone is nice gentleman or maybe he is a person with criminaloid tendencies. So, desirable qualities of a profiler that he should be well versed with the hotel industry, hospital industry, or any industry where they work, and be familiar with the layout and functioning of their property. Be aware of all events happening in the business environment. Be a good observer and remain calm and composed. Have a good memory and eye for detail. Of course, there must be a good communicator. And this brings to close of this masterclass on predictive profiling. And I would go with one last comment that we have seen police world over have been practicing this predictive profiling without actually being aware that this is a subject which can be trained. In fact, successful police officers, crime investigators were those who were good profiler. Many times, police officials are known to catch a criminal before they actually commit a crime. And how would it be? I have interviewed many police officers, successful police officers, and they shared with me that this is the power of their gaze, the stare which they give to the surroundings and especially the person which they feel are not good people. Again, based on their very keen and sharp observation, Samudrik Shastra, criminaloid characteristics. And when criminals are confronted by police officers, and especially those police officers which are in uniform, then those criminals who have already committed a few crimes, seasoned criminals, they also cannot meet the gaze, the sharp eyes. They cannot look at police officers. They try to avoid their eyes. They try to avoid coming right in front of them, take a detour, go to the sideways, stand under the tree, and most of the time, many of them just turn around and go back to the direction they were coming. So, such are the profound observations which police officers have, and based on their hunch, based on their this profiling skills, that they become confident and arrest those person for further investigation. So this profiling is a new tool. Predictive profiling was done in European countries for few years at airport. Beside the visible security, there would be many observer as part of the crowd walking around, sitting in a corner, sipping coffee, reading newspapers, but having observation all around them. And they are the person who give the indication. And such people, after boarding pass is collected, when these people go to security hold area and pass the security screening stage, that is the time they are asked to come to the site for thorough security check and thorough investigation. So in airport, this was very successful. But paradoxes of hospital security and paradoxes of hospitality security are such that security needs to be very unobtrusive. They must be there, they must do their job all the time, remain successful as security professional, but they are not to be seen, they are not to be visible, and yet deliver the result, zero breach of security. And that is possible only when these two industries, especially hospital and hospitality, healthcare and hospitality industry, they employ security experts who have command over their predictive profiling skill sets. These people are going to be successful with the brand new USP, but beside these two industries, which are uh, seeking different skill sets from the security personnel, this is going to go far and wide and become popular day by day. So, security professionals are those who remain relevant, remain current, and acquire this new skill set. Thank you very much. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, subscribe it. If you have comments to make, kindly do make. Your comments will encourage us to conduct more such master classes in future also. Thank you very much. Remain happy, remain healthy. God bless you.